Welcome, everyone. I'm going to invite you to take a nice deep breath, please. All right. Well, I'm excited to be here with you. Going to be concluding this series of the Majestic Sovereign Ones. And I felt it was best to conclude with now setting you up for this next level of your evolution in terms of your purpose and calling, and, and really why you're here for this specific time in not just humanity's evolution, so to speak, with your chosen calling purpose, but also here to change the landscape on multiple levels. And believe it or not, primarily with the financial and economics landscapes that are being carved out. You are part of this newer wealth trajectory and bringing in the alignment for something very signature and significant to take place. And this is why most of you over the years have had challenges, primarily, in the areas of finances and probably health, just your overall well-being as well, because we know that your health is your wealth. And all of this plays a part in you being a part of the new. And so I've been speaking with you about how you are a new breed of a majestic and leveling up in this sovereign way majestically and not just in the traditional formats. Now, one of the reasons why this is important is because the new breed that you are a part of as a majestic sovereign one is part of this wealth majestic magnate. And the magnate level is where the higher sovereignty is in terms of playing out your grander purpose. And that's really, if I had to give a niche audience, so to speak, a target audience, that's who I'm here to serve. Different levels of magnates who are here to play out a multi-mission purpose. They have multi-mission mantles. And so you are part of that magnate code that's here for a new era marketplace. And so it's important to understand that you have a significant role as it relates to e-commerce, as it relates to the economic frameworks that are emerging. And this is where you're going to find your greater purpose. Now, when I'm speaking in terms of you being here as this new demonstration, if you will, majestically of wealth playing out in this magnate role. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you are going to be in the financial arena. Most of you actually will. You've been being prepared for that, even if you never had that as a role in your life. It just will come at a different, it'll flow in at a different level than the traditional financial industry, so to speak, all right? It'll evolve out of your personal and professional experiences. And when I say the professional side, doesn't mean that you've worked in the finances, but just what you've observed and studied and managed in your own resources from let's say the employment that you've had, your own business. That's been your professional finances. But then there's the personal aspect also in terms of whether savings, managing for home, or however, it plays into this larger framework. And you'll discover more of that in terms of going through your unique financial metamorphosis, which is something that I've spoken about. But this larger context of what you will be playing out and demonstrating is how your multi-mission will set up multiple revenue reservoirs, if you will, or you can call them multiple streams of income, but these are multiple streams of sovereignty in terms of what is really specific for you to be doing and not just something that you are doing to make extra money, so to speak. But it will find this embodiment, or you, I should say, will find your embodiment in terms of this expression more in the e-commerce-preneurship realm and serving in that way in a variety of different contexts, so to speak, because you'll be cultivating a new level of currency, a new level of holistic wealth, and you need a magnate framework in this new way in order to demonstrate this. If you are familiar with a magnate is someone who is wealthy and influential, someone who definitely is in a position of authority or power as it relates to being top in their industry, so to speak, and again, being very influential and wealthy, typically in the business sector or even the financial sector, so to speak. But when you are a majestic magnate serving in a multi-mission functionality, you begin to be the chief cornerstone of not just your primary industries, but also, different levels of the marketplace that you are going to be called to serve in. And this can look like just having products, not necessarily that you have to give your physical energy in terms of airtime with being a coach or a consultant. Some of that definitely may come into play. But for the great majority of you, it's going to be that you are producing a certain level of content in multiple formats for different industries, leveraging your personal, professional, educational, and spiritual experience, even hobbies, passions, pains, leveraging the totality of your experience. Now, most of you have heard me talk in other segments or other productions that you have heard me render, where I share about how I leverage my life as a niche and I bring the fullness of who I am to serve different industries. And again, I don't actually teach others how to build out massively like I have. I have over 400 publications, over 300 of those are on Amazon. And I have produced over 1,000 digital products and created over 1,000 online platforms that serve different niche markets. And again, I don't teach people to build out massively in that way. That was unique to my majestic magnate encoding. So I'm Majesty Almighty. But there are so many different levels of you that will come forth. And primarily it will be in product types of formats. Some of what you bring forth will be one-offs that will consistently pay off, not necessarily something that you will continue in a specific field or industry. And again, serving from a variety of different levels and really creating your own unique marketplace, becoming your own Amazon, becoming your own Barnes and Noble, becoming your own Walmart supercenters, so to speak, in the online space in your own uniqueness and being sovereign in the way that you are facilitating this type of initiative. But again, most of it is going to be self-serving portals of potential and possibility that you will create for others. Some of those will be in the styles of academies, or again, your own types of marketplace or mini markets. And that's how you start to make up a contribution to the new era marketplace, which is part of the new now business normal. What I coined and created is the new now testament trajectory. And the reason why, again, this is important is because your callings and who you are don't fit into the frameworks of the old system, of the old paradigms. And that's why most of you haven't been able to, up until this point, or as of yet, I should say, really align with your true financial potential, your compelling financial greatness, because you would still be trying to put it in a normal framework, even in terms of a traditional, let's say, even entrepreneurship and how that has emerged. You would still be trying to put your frameworks, your new giftings, but you can't pour old wine or new wine into old wineskin. So you need a new wineskin experience to even create your own marketplace initiative and then be part of this unique vanguard that is carving out the new way forward as it relates to what I call wealthonomics and creating your own unique ecosystem for your special tribe who you have been uniquely prepared for. And this, again, comes on a grander scale. It's on a much more expansive scale because it's evolved and it's going to look different than what we're used to putting our callings in certain types of containers. This here will allow you to be more expansive and more expressive in terms of not just your sovereignty, but your divinity. And again, being able to be a demonstration of holistic wealth and prosperity. And the new breed is here for that. You're here to demonstrate wealth in motion. But again, holistically, it's not just about the financial aspect. Holistic wealth, holistic profitability is about your overall well-being, aka wholeness. And you being able to facilitate that life of promise, that life that is majestic, and being in this influential place of power and position, your rulership in a magnate type of way. But again, this will be in even a different context than the traditional magnate because you will be carrying out multi-mission purposes. You have missions in the moment. Some of your missions will be seasonal. Again, some of what you set up, I teach this on so many different levels where you create the old T strand of you, the new T strand, and then there's always the new now strand. The was, is to come. That which has been, is current, and is emerging. And people being able to sync up with those different levels of your offerings. So I have resources within the description, and also other ways that you can continue to move forward and to keep majestically rising in your sovereignty, and being a part of communities that can help you to be more of your majestic self. This particular series was really a transition series for chosen ones that have now leveled up to be sovereign ones. And so now all of the preparation that has been done leads to why you're actually here. And having the jump off for this is just the launching pad. It's not the end all be all, but it at least is the gateway into the newer trajectory that shifts you out of, as I've been speaking previously, continuously looping and looping and looping and never actually getting to your purpose. And then expanding into what is the multi-purpose expression that you're here to demonstrate, right? And see, when you are in this level of awareness of yourself, again, this is where the higher context of Christ comes through. This is where the second coming aspect comes through in terms of this is a new re-engineered version of who you are to now play out in this new way of beingness, and to step into your calling, your multi-level calling, in a sense, with no delay and with no hesitations, because yeah, this is it. And now you do have a framework, if you will, that can be customizable, not something cookie cutter, customizable for you. So again, I have resources within the description that can definitely put you in this newer space so that you can majestically start soaring in your sovereignty and jumpstarting this next level of your purpose so that this journey can give birth to the next journey. But you're in a completely different playing field now. So it's been my absolute pleasure and delight and honor to have facilitated this series for you. I always say that I am so excited, and I am extremely excited because I know all too well what this is going to mean for you. Not only that, what this is going to mean for the people who are here to benefit, from you. So you are your own stage. You are your own ecosystem at this point. You're your own unique landscape. And now it's time to use your co-creative authority, your sovereign essence, and now create this next level from all of these different dimensions of who you are. So again, be sure to check the description. And if you want to continue expanding who you are in this way, then again, check the description. There's resources and groups and also opportunities to do coaching and consulting, if not with me, with one of my proteges or coaches from the team. So again, I'm excited for you. And with that being said, new breed, majestic sovereign ones, I am going to bring this series to a close. If you've missed any of the other segments, be sure to go back and listen, and there'll be a link to the playlist in the description as well. So again, I am going to send you away with many blessings and looking forward to continuing with you on this majestic sovereign journey. Wishing you the absolute best. Take care and stay blessed.